Welcome once again to the Awaken Your Reality podcast. I'm Anthony Sacred Cobra Cortino, your spiritual awakening coach. I'm here to guide you through your spiritual and identity crisis that may stem from relationship shifts such as a divorce or a breakup. Together, we'll manifest your ideal reality. Twice a week, we delve into the nuances of relationships, spirituality, and manifestation. I'm here to help light your path and uncover your true potential. Today, I want to focus on 3 prevalent obstacles that we stumble upon on our spiritual journey. So we're going to dive into these elements. I'm here to shed light on how you can steer clear of common manifestation mishaps and channel your energies more effectively towards awakening your reality. Because these hurdles, if not recognized and corrected, can seriously get in the way and slam the brakes on the process and create frustration. So let's unpack each one. Looking back at when I first started my journey many years ago, like many of you, I was under the impression that I needed the right tools. Crystals, books, mantras. These were the keys to successful manifesting. I now understand that the real power doesn't lie in the quantity of my practice, but the quality. So it's time that we address the elephant in this room, a glaring mistake that most of us make when we first start our journey to manifest, the mistake of doing more, quantity over quality. I remember when I first started, I definitely had way too many needs of specific books, specific crystals, right? I need to have so much moldavite that people were like, oh my gosh, did you spend all your money on moldavite? Yes, I did. I needed to have special journals. One more journal. I believe that by doing more, by consistently engaging in spiritual practices, a new meditation, a new faith, a new community, that I was somehow inching closer to manifesting my desires, but I was completely wrong. Whenever I got that person, that relationship back, when I got that dollar amount, when I got the reaction, when I came from constantly doing over and over again the right processes, as soon as I stopped, they were gone again. So don't do more, do better. To better illustrate this point, I'm going to quote Dr. Joseph Murphy, the renowned author of The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I highly recommend it. He said, your subconscious mind does not argue with you. It accepts what your conscious mind decrees, right? In other words, it's not about the number of affirmations that you recite, the number of crystals or which crystal bowl you have, or the number of times you meditate each day, or for how long. It's about the belief, the absolute certainty, the quality of the energy that you infuse into these practices goes much further than by conscious efforting and repetition. Now, I understand that this can be confusing. This realization, too, was a turning point in my journey that I only in the last few years really understood. Therefore, to make the process easier and more effective for you, I've created the Affirmation Mastery Ebook. This tool will guide you through the process of crafting and leveraging affirmations specifically for your ideal reality. It's not about repeating affirmations until your throat is sore. It's about truly connecting with and internalizing these empowering I am statements and mantras. Next, we're going to talk about the second common mistake that hinders our ability to manifest effectively. You may have heard you should be asking, right? Ask and it's given. That makes sense. The statement is clear. Ask and it's given. It's in the Bible. Abraham Hicks talks about it. Neville Goddard, everyone talks about it. Ask the universe for what you want, but consider this. Instead of asking, what if you started to just decide, to just assume? Bob Proctor, who I have been studying most of my life, a very famous law of attraction coach, says, see yourself living in abundance and you will attract it. It always works. It works every time with every person. Notice he said the very first word, see yourself. I want to highlight this big time right now. When I'm working with an individual, when they first start working with me and they say, I'm having a challenge in the relationship. I can't see past the divorce. I can't see past our kids being hurt. I can't see myself getting out of this spiral of emotions. When I ask them, describe what that looks like, they will always say, and you've probably done it too. I know I did. Always say, I want security. I want respect. I want to feel good every day. I want to be treated well. Can't do anything with those words. Those are not going to move the universe at all. Those are abstract. It's a sign that you actually are afraid that you don't believe you deserve it. So when I work with individuals, I will stop them over and over again. Tell me what it actually looks like. So we want to get the five senses involved. What does it look like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? Feel like? What time of day? Let's get all the senses involved and more. Don't be abstract. Be concrete. What are you actually looking at when you describe that scene? Stay away from abstract. So stop asking, start assuming, start affirming, start deciding. Because this is where we move from the realm of passive wishing to active deciding and assuming. We stop pleading and start commanding. We cease to be beggars and we become co-creators, because that's what we are. When we decide, we actually then transmit a signal to the universe that we believe in our power to manifest our desires. That changes everything. Ask yourself, what mental or emotional blocks could be keeping you from shifting from asking to deciding? What fear or belief is preventing you from affirming your desires confidently? Now, I work with a lot of individuals from many different faiths, and I'm going to go ahead and say, when I work with my traditionally Christian clients, they're always praying and asking from a place of disbelief, from a place of lack. I will ask a client, man or woman, going through a divorce or getting back into dating or working on their business. I'll say, how do you pray? And they always are telling me they pray to an external force, the big guy in the sky, to give them something because they're hurting, because they're in pain, or because they're scared. This does not work. This means you're actually affirming and praying more of what you don't want. Also, they have a fear of not knowing what someone wants for them. So they, again, will use multiple excuses to not assume and affirm that you and the Creator are one. Stop getting in your way. Stop separating God from man. You and the Creator are one. So guess what? Whatever you want, the Creator wants for you. Decide. Don't ask. Don't give up. Don't surrender your desires when you don't even know what they are, right? Get specific. Start praying and assuming and affirming and journaling, believing that you already have it. So that's the question. What fear or belief is preventing you from affirming your desires confidently? Let me know below. Finally, the third mistake that's commonly I see we often make when we're manifesting is when we choose who to listen to. We've all heard it before. You can have too many cooks in the kitchen. They're going to spoil the broth. Everyone's adding their piece because they think they know better than you, because they've lived more, they've experienced more. Maybe they say they're more spiritual than you are. Don't listen to them. Too many voices create confusion, diverting us from our spiritual path, right? Our conscious mind has millions and millions of voices going on simultaneously. We have a habit of turning the volume up on some and down on all the rest. So here's a question. Am I discerning enough about the advice I'm taking in? Do I trust my intuition when choosing my guides on this spiritual journey? So if you're listening to somebody give you advice, consider, what do you think their frame of mind is that they're coming from? Also, did you reach out to them over phone or text or to meet them in person while you were agitated, scared, afraid? Have you been afraid for a very long time and now you're suddenly telling them your plan of what you're doing? So if they push back, this is not a sign that they know better. They are reflecting your persistent thoughts. So I say, don't trust outside forces. Don't listen to those voices. Trust your intuition. So you got to get in alignment. You got to settle down. You got to meditate. You got to pray. You got to journal, do some yoga, take a nap, remove resistance. And then what spiritual guides are you listening to? What messages are you taking in? Where is the advice coming from? Discern. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. Because these words remind us of the importance of discernment, of trusting our own inner voice when it comes to our spiritual journey. Now, manifesting is a deeply personal journey, and one size does not fit all. Find the voices that resonate with you. Find the spiritual teachers. Find the faith. Find the difference between an affirmation and a mantra. See if you do better with scripting, journaling, and writing. You work the process the way it works for you. The guidance that aligns with your personal experience and beliefs is the one that you need to listen to, because this is your own journey. I often tell people when I'm going straight into divorce coaching, right? Don't talk to anybody. Stop talking to your friends and family, not that friend who used to be an attorney or that friend who was a paralegal, right? Your friends have too much ego involved. Don't talk to the friend who went through a divorce. This is your divorce. Don't make it somebody else's, right? You don't get to go into court and say, Your Honor, my friend who went through a divorce told me this is what happened to them. You wouldn't do that. So same thing goes with your spiritual journey. Don't go crowdsourcing to see what sounds right. Get your trusted guides, go to them and only them. Don't go to 2 or 3 different people asking them what they think about your new idea that you're affirming for, whatever you're manifesting. Don't tell them what you're praying about. They're just going to get involved and get messy. Let's summarize these points once again. It's number 1, quality over quantity. Prioritize the quality of your spiritual practices over their quantity. Don't do more, do better. Do more feeling, do more emotional attachment, more confirming, more affirming. Okay? 2, decide. Don't just ask. Shift from passively wishful thinking, wishy-washy asking, begging from a place of not knowing or believing to actively deciding. When do you want your manifestation to come? When do you want your desire to happen? When, where, who, right? How much? Put that dollar amount in your mind's eye in your bank account. Number 3, be discerning. Trust your intuition and be discerning about the advice and guidance that you choose to follow on your journey. It's not about just who you hear. You can have your shield up that I teach. Put your shield up. You can hear someone's response. Don't be attached to it though. Don't react. Listen, do your work, find if that even resonates with you at all. Chances are No one externally can tell you anything that's going to help you on your journey if they are responding to you sharing what you're going through. If it's a friend or family member, they're going to have too much ego. They love you too much, or they're going to want to manipulate you and not even know it. They don't mean to do it, okay? So before we wrap up, we're going to go over some questions. How do I know if I'm focusing on quantity over quality in my practice? It's a matter of self-awareness, right? Self-awareness is the first thing to increase when you start your journey. If you are not self-aware, you're going to keep consuming and regurgitating the same mundane reality, only juxtaposed with the same crisis every day, the same two stages. I teach in my creator consciousness program. The very first phase is the asleep creator consciousness. Well, step one is mundane, right? You have no self-awareness. You're bored. Step two is crisis. Your self-awareness comes from pain, the trigger, the conflict. Self-awareness goes up when you start a spiritual practice. So if you find yourself routinely, repetitiously performing your practices without any conscious thought, without the warm and fuzzies, without the tingling, right? Without the presence, without the power of now, that's a good sign that you're doing it wrong. You're focusing more on repetition. Your conscious mind is too involved. You're trying to impress the subconscious mind with repetition. That takes a really long time, and it's not consistent, and it doesn't last. So focus. Be careful for focusing on more quantity. 2, how do I shift from asking to deciding in my manifesting practice? It's real simple. The shift begins internally. Start affirming your desires confidently as if you already have them. Get all 5 senses involved. Create the scene from your own eyeballs, first person, not third person. And don't make excuses to not decide what you want. No one's going to tell you what you want. You decide what you want. Create that vision. Do it internally, not externally. Give it to yourself. Number 3, how do I determine which advice or guidance aligns with my personal beliefs and experiences? Here's the challenge, right? You're going to think that your intuition is right because it always responds to your beliefs and experiences, i.e., your expectations. If you habitually think the world is against you, if you habitually think that your partner in your relationship or your divorce, that they are against you, your intuition is always going to back that up. So if you're talking from a fear or anger state, don't trust your intuition. It's going to get you to put your head right into the mouth of the lion, right? When you turn away from fear, you go right into danger and more fear, right? Every time. We've proven this over and over again, and you've seen it in your life. Get yourself calm. Take a nap. Journal. Pray. Go work out. Do some yoga. Do some mindful breathing, right? Get yourself into an aligned, awake consciousness. Then ask yourself and trust your intuition. That voice is going to be different than the one if you do it while you're actively triggered. Moving on. So remember, manifesting your desires is not just about doing more, but doing better. It's about infusing every thought, every affirmation, and every action with positive and purposeful and intentional energy. It's about shifting from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance. It's about trusting your intuition and walking your sacred ceremony of life. As we conclude today, I want you to think about this. What limiting beliefs am I ready to release? Get rid of them. Which ones are they? Write them down. Throw them away. Burn them, something, right? What empowering beliefs am I ready to embrace? Are you going to accept them? Let it in, right? The faster you can let it go, the faster you allow it to come in. We see this all the time. Build momentum. So what empowering beliefs am I ready to embrace and own and affirm? And finally, what steps can I take today to improve my manifesting practice? What steps can I do? Can I make it a part of my day? Can I do it every morning? Can I do it every night? Once or twice a day? Can I make it a part of my ongoing meditation in my mind that I pivot to whenever I'm triggered? And I go, I'm awake. I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to be conscious, right? Make the steps, write them down, implement them as soon as right now. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Get access to my free divorce planner that helps you make aligned decisions, conscious decisions before, during, and long after your divorce is final. Sign up for my newsletter. I'm putting out content 2 to 3 times a week now. Also, if you are ready, take a look at my Break Up to Breakthrough coaching program that I'm working with individuals and in groups so that we can break up with this old ego enmeshed relationship that's hurting us and get over that and start manifesting our peace, our bliss, our abundance, our new relationship as fast as the speed of thought. So check. Signing off for now. Once again, this is Anthony Sacred Cobra Cortino. Remember, you are sacred, you are worthy, and you are love.